Welcome to the Dream Team Professor podcast. My name is Scott, and in this episode, we're looking at the top players to target for the quarterfinal stage of Euro 2024 from a Dream Team fantasy football point of view. We've just finished the round of 16 yesterday. Just the one real surprise, I think, when it came to results, but we had some really exciting matches. But we're going to start off by looking at the things that we need to know ahead of the quarterfinals on Dream Team. So we've been given an extra £3 million budget to spend on our team. I'm guessing the thinking behind this is obviously they expect the bigger teams to be left in the round at this point. So the players are obviously more expensive. So they've kind of given us an extra £3 million budget to play with for this round. You don't have to do anything. Just go to your team. Well, it would have been on there just as the last deadline passed anyway. You probably have seen it by now. But if you just look at my team on the screen here, you've got 50 million on the pitch and £3 million budget in the bank. So obviously had zero budget going into this. So been gifted an extra £3 million. We now have 5 transfers to use every week until the final. So we had unlimited transfers ahead of the knockout quarterfinal stage. Hopefully you set your teams up a bit better than mine. But now we have 5 transfers to use every round. So if you do have players eliminated, we have still got plenty of transfers to fix things with. So 5 transfers each week or each match day. There's no rolling over of transfers though, so it's use them or lose them. You can't hold them back and look to overhaul your team the next week. You do have to use them or you'll just lose them. So extra £3 million, 5 transfers a week, and use your transfers or you lose them. We'll have a quick look at the route to the final through FOTMOB. So obviously we've got Spain, Germany on the left-hand side. Big clashes on this left-hand side now that the round of 16 matches are out of the way. And then the other quarterfinal is Portugal versus France. So the two toughest games to call, I think, on the left-hand side. Massive favourites. Well, there's not really any massive favourites. Sorry, the games are pretty tight. Whereas on the other side, the odds are stacked either one way or the other usually. So Spain versus Germany. Spain are the slight favourites in this one. And then Portugal versus France. France are edging it at the minute. Spain are still the favourites to go through to the final, along with England. England are actually still the favourites to win the tournament, which feels surprising after what we've seen, but I guess it also depends on looking at the sides of the draw. So if you go to the right-hand side of the draw, Netherlands now face Turkey, which that Turkey match last night was probably the biggest surprise of the round of 16, because I think a lot of us were expecting that Austria would turn up and have a really good performance in that one and potentially cause some of the big boys some problems like they did with Netherlands previously. But Turkey, really good on the night. Demiral with a hero performance has taken them through to the round of, to the semi-finals, to the quarterfinals. So Netherlands versus Turkey. Netherlands are heavy favourites now in that one to progress. And then it's England versus Switzerland. And England are also big favourites in that match, despite a lot of us feeling not very confident in that match. So we know it's not as simple as backing the favourites in these matchups, especially in knockout football. The Matchday 5 deadline. So the deadline to get your teams prepared for this quarterfinal is Friday, the 5th of July, 4 p.m. So we have Spain, Germany at 5, Portugal, France at 8. So we might get some team news ahead of Spain, Germany. You'd like to think that Germany might be a little bit more discreet about their team now at this point, because they've been pretty much announcing their team early the whole way through. And that's getting to the final sort of stages. Surely it's in their best interest to sort of keep that under wraps. But the deadline, 4 p.m. on Friday, ahead of those 5 p.m. matches. So if you work a normal style shift, the old 9 to 5, do keep an eye out for that deadline. Set an alarm on your phone like I do. And make sure you don't miss that one. So what we're going to do, we're going to look at the top players to target from each of these teams left in the draw. Because I missed a few of the recap videos through the week, we'll do a little recap. We'll have the ffstuff.co.uk match center on the left, and then we'll go through the players to target from each team. If you've been following along, for the Euros. Please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. But let's get straight into it. So Germany versus Denmark first. We're going to start off with that Spain-Germany fixture. So Germany with a 2-0 win against Denmark. They're obviously the slight underdogs against Spain, but I feel like home advantage could still be a big factor when it comes to this matchup. 2 clean sheets from 4 matches for Germany, including this one against Denmark. They've only conceded 2 goals so far, but they've scored the most goals with 10. Spain scored 9 and only conceded 1. So when it comes to a real matchup, this is going to be the biggest test you can pretty much get against Spain. So a decent defense in Spain with just the 1 conceded and also the second most goals scored. So expecting a real big clash. On first impressions, I feel there will be goals in this one. I don't feel massively confident that this will be a cagey one, like I think a France-Portugal could end up being. I think both teams sort of prioritise their attack a little bit. When we look at the Germany lineup, so Raum, Schlotterbeck, and Sane came into the lineup for this Germany match. A Germany team that had pretty much been unchanged for a lot of the tournament, but we had Raum come into for Mittelstadt, which I feel like was quite a surprise because I felt like Mittelstadt had been really, really good throughout the tournament. He was already on a yellow card, but the talk was that Raum had impressed in training, and then he'd also impressed when he came on the pitch. I think he got an assist coming off the bench in one of the matches. And maybe where Mittelstadt was walking that yellow card tightrope as well, that came into it too. But Raum came in and he had a good performance as well. So they kept the clean sheet. He got 12 points and got an assist, which was his second assist so far. The assist in this one was a bit dodgy. It was for a cross that hit Anderson's hand, I think it was, from pretty much point blank range. So there's not much that he could have done about it, to be honest with you. But Raum sort of kept getting himself in these crossing positions and had a good game. Schlotterbeck, on the other hand, came in for Tar. I think Tar's been pretty good throughout the tournament as well. But Schlotterbeck only came in because Tar was suspended for this match. So despite doing really well himself, Schlotterbeck got an assist. He got how many points? 13 points, a bonus. And his assist was for a sort of long ball straight over the top to Musiala. But I'm less confident that he's going to keep his place. I think there's a chance that Tar probably comes back because he hasn't really done anything wrong. And then Sane came in for Florian Wirtz. And I'm leaning towards, I'm unsure, and I probably wouldn't go there. I feel like Sane might keep his place in this one. So he got 88 minutes. And Wirtz, when he's been playing, has been pretty much subbed early in every match. So I don't know if he has some sort of fitness issue. Maybe he's a little bit fatigued or something. But Sane did get the bulk of the minutes playing in this game, whereas Wirtz would usually be one of the first subbed off. And that Füllkrug sub and the Sane sub had been quite regular for Havertz and Wirtz throughout the tournament. But Sane kept his place on the pitch for 88 minutes. I'm feeling that he might start, but I wouldn't go there. I favour the Germany attack over the defence when it comes to choosing players. So I'm going to start off with Musiala at 4.5 million. So really, really impressive throughout the tournament. 4.5 million. He's second for overall point scoring, 39, just behind Gakpo now. So Gakpo took the lead last night. He's the 65% owned, which is the most owned player in the game currently, Musiala. So if you have him, you're not making huge gains when he does well. But if you don't have him, you will be suffering when he does perform. He got 12 points against Denmark, 3 bonus, and his 3rd goal of the tournament. So good for these attacking returns and pretty solid for bonus points as well. He's got 29 player performance marks, which is the 3rd highest behind Mbappe and Theo Hernandez for France. 7 bonus. He's hit it in all but one fixture, which was that, I think, the final fixture against Switzerland, where quite a few of the players didn't perform. But overall, he has been really, really good for player performance marks and bonus. It's just whether or not, depending on where you are, or in your mini leagues or in the overall leaderboard, whether or not bringing him in will be that beneficial. You're kind of protecting yourself against the hauls, but if you do bring him in, I don't think you're going to make massive ground by now. 65% owned. And you'd imagine, again, with another good week, people probably are going to bring him in. People have got more budget to play with too. So don't think there's much gain to be had with Musiala. It's more like damage limitation, I think. But still, nevertheless, he's been a really, really good player. Havertz, 4.5 million. So there was talk that Füllkrug was potentially going to get drafted in for this game. The main talk was Raum and Füllkrug, but we didn't know who the talk was that Füllkrug would come in for. We just assumed that it would be Havertz. He didn't come in the end. It probably put quite a few players off, and he ended up with 12 points, and he had a really, really good performance, Havertz, in this one. So 4 shots on target, a couple big misses, actually, but he really did look like he was on it. So 12 points, 4 shots on target. He now is, I think, safe to say, secured on penalties. So I suffered in that first match where Gundogan was the taker, looked like he was going to take the first one. It was disallowed. And then he got injured in the build-up to winning a penalty, and Havertz stepped up and took it. That was enough for me to kind of be a little bit worried that they might just continue with their penalty taker going forward. So I lost Gundogan, and he's gone on to give up penalty duty to Havertz, it looks like. So Gundogan was on the pitch for the time of the penalty, but did not take it again. So Kai Havertz, he's got 2 goals in the tournament, but both have come from the penalty spot. So make of that what you will. 1 assist, though. Only 1 bonus point, which at this point, with players sort of... See, I've had a really bad time with strikers. I think I've had 2 goals throughout the whole tournament from strikers, which is not good at all. But I'm sort of looking at this now. Does a player only score or assist, or do they get points elsewhere? I fell for it with Morata this week as well. If he didn't score, didn't get anything, got 1 point. Whereas maybe if I'd have made a better call, I know Gakpo did score this week, but Gakpo has been getting points for tackles, for bonus, for chances created, the full lot. They're taking lots of shots as well. So I think the fact that Havertz has only got 1 bonus point does put me off, but he is quite high up for total shots on target. So maybe you can take your shots on target points, but as these games get harder, I think the chance is going to be few and far between. Gundogan, I'm going to put him as stock falling. He wouldn't be someone I look at this point. So you've lost your penalty hope with Gundogan now, it seems. And he's also had back-to-back 2-pointers. So started this tournament really, really strong. But back-to-back 2-pointers now, which is a little bit concerning. Sane or Wirtz feels really unpredictable to me. The only way that I'd maybe take a chance on Sane would be that if I'd seen the lineup, which is the first kickoff, so there's a chance. But do you really fancy him? I mean, up against Carvajal, for example. He's a great player, but I think this Spain team, in my head, could end up dominating this match in terms of possession and stuff like that. So I don't think it's the best pick to go for. So Gundogan, Sane, Wirtz, I think that I probably would avoid. One that's definitely falls into the territory of differential could be Toni Kroos, 3.5 million. So it's a non-glamorous pick. He's not someone that's known for sort of getting the goals. He's not the most attacking player now in this setup for the Germany team. However, he's hit bonus in he's hit 3 bonus points in both of his last 2 matches. 8 bonus points in total. So he's the 3rd highest player for bonus points on the game now. And it's mostly down to taking set pieces, free kicks, corners. I had a look into the stats, and he's taken the most corners at the Euros, and he's taken the most free kicks at the Euros. I know you might have watched Ronaldo in that last game against Slovenia, where he took about 100 free kicks, but Toni Kroos has taken the most free kicks. And unlike Ronaldo, he's crossing them in, getting successful crosses, and it's getting him the bonus points. So Toni Kroos could be a differential if you really are looking for something a bit different, because at this point you kind of do have to make a few differential picks, it seems, because the player pool is slowly getting smaller as we get towards the final. I don't think I'll go there just because I don't really back Germany in this fixture. But it is an interesting one if you're looking to get those bonus points. And eventually one of them probably is going to turn into an assist. And when it comes to defence, I'm not keen. I'm not keen at all, really. I'm feeling Spain for this match. There's doubts now over Mittelstadt versus Raum, and now also potentially Tar versus Schlotterbeck. I think it probably will be back to Tar, but the Mittelstadt Raum one, they've both looked good at left back. They've both looked attacking. They've both had attacking returns. So I feel like that one's a flip of a coin, and I wouldn't really want to go there, to be honest with you. So I'd avoid that. I'd probably avoid Tar Schlotterbeck, even though I do think Tar starts, which probably just leaves Kimmich or Rudiger, which I think Kimmich is probably the bigger upside pick out of the two. But even then, I don't know how much attacking Kimmich is going to be allowed to do with Lamine Yamal playing on that right wing. Really, really good wingers for Spain. So it's going to be a case of, do they commit forward with these attacking defenders, or do they get kept occupied and have to put in more of a defensive shift? So I'm not overly keen looking at defense for Germany. But if I did have multiple already, I wouldn't be looking to ship them straight out or nothing, unless it's one that you're thinking is at risk of not playing. So I said I think Spain are the favourites, or they are the favourites, but they're my favourites as well in this one. 4-1 win against Georgia, which is a really, really good result. It didn't quite work out for me in terms of dream team. I'll come to my team at the end, but I'd back to Morata in this one. I thought there'd be loads of goals, and there was. He was just about the only player that didn't score points for Spain in this match. With Williams, Yamal, Rodri, and Ruiz all getting attacking returns, and pretty much all getting into double figures as well. So, yeah, really poor showing from Morata. And I had double defence from Spain. I really fancied this fixture for the clean sheet. And seeing that own goal from Lenormand was a little bit of a sickener. I don't think it can really be blamed on luck, because it looked like Kvaratskhelia was going to be on the end of the cross anyway. So there is that bit that makes you feel a little bit better. But overall, despite it being a good performance from Spain, not really great in terms of dream team for me. Well played if you had one of the wingers, though. So Spain, second favourites to win the tournament now, behind England, surprisingly. But it's just because England are on the better side of the draw, I can imagine. They've had 1 goal conceded, 3 clean sheets from their 4 matches. So the match where I doubled up on the defence was the only one where they didn't keep the clean sheet, against Georgia. Second most goals scored with 9, behind Germany, who have 10. And obviously just put 4 goals in. So probably feeling pretty confident. I feel more confident in Spain over Germany. And I think it's partly because I feel like, who do I think is going to take control of possession and the game in this match? I think it will be Spain. I think both teams have got potential to hurt each other going forward. But seeing Spain already do it against Italy and Croatia, who granted weren't at their best, are still very strong teams. Whereas I don't think we've quite seen the same level of opposition for Germany yet. So I feel like Spain have had a few big tests already, and they've come through them pretty well. Whereas Germany's maybe a little bit still unknown. So tough route to the final still for Spain, but second best non-penalty expected goals conceded, 2.48. The only better defence in that regard are France, who have a 1.84 non-penalty expected goals. But you can see the way they play. France are not giving up chances, but they're not really doing much getting forward, where Spain seem to be a bit of a perfect mixture. Their defence has been relatively solid, or pretty solid. They've conceded 1 goal, but they still are getting those attacks. So Cucurella and Carvajal, I'm going to start with them two, because they're the 2 Spain defenders that I bought in. The 2 Spain defenders that I thought were the best to pick out of this defence. They're the 2 most owned defenders in the game. So I kind of wasn't expecting that, actually, but I guess they did keep 3 clean sheets in a row. But disappointing in this one. 4 points for Cucurella. He hit tackles and had a shot on target. And just the 3 points for Carvajal, who is on a yellow card, but didn't pick up a second yellow. So we're all good there. Yeah, I'm tempted to hold. Now, I know many will be tempted to probably rage sell their Spain defenders, maybe move to a Netherlands, who have got a much nicer fixture in Turkey. England, who have got a much nicer fixture, or a nicer fixture in Switzerland. Or France, who have looked really, really solid, clean sheet against Belgium. But, I mean, we've just seen Turkey surprise Austria. I think Netherlands' defence is much stronger than Austria's. But England now don't have Gahey. They're losing Trippier. There's a bit of uncertainty there, so I don't feel like it's as secure as you might think. I just think where Spain do have a little bit of control potentially in this match, it could be a cagey affair as well. I'm expecting goals, but it could be a cagey affair. I don't think it has to be the priority to move your Spain defenders on, and I'm not in a rush to do it. Obviously, if they get eliminated, it's a different story, but I'm not in a massive rush to get rid of them. I think that Cucurella and Carvajal, potential for both of them to get tackle points as well in this match, facing up against these tricky wingers as well in Sane, for example. So I think Cucurella, Carvajal probably fine to hold unless you were moving on to like a block or you wanted to go heavy on one of the other defenses. Fabian Ruiz, 3.5 million. He's had another haul in this game, so a goal and an assist. He got a goal and assist in the first match of the tournament as well, so 2 goals, 2 assists overall. A 12.7 average across the tournament, so really, really good. 34% ownership, so still pretty high ownership, but not huge. 38 total points, puts him third overall. I think he's a fine hold. Probably not expecting him to get forward as much, get in the box as much. Probably going to be a bit of a more defensive shift, probably matching up with Rodri up against. We've got Kroos and Andrić for Germany. So we might see a few more tackles and bonus, for example, in this match. But he still just has the taste for scoring at the minute. So getting on the end of that Yamal cross. Speaking of Yamal, I think he's another good option as well. So with Ruiz, I don't think he's as good of a pick to bring in at this point, just because the matches are now going to be less open and probably a bit less attacking for Spain. But if you've got him already, I think he's still a fine hold. Yamal, 4 million. Really nice assist for that Ruiz goal. Like I said, that was his second of the tournament. Hit bonus, had 2 shots on target and got that big chance created. I feel like that goal is coming for him. 23 points, 5.8 average, the most big chances created with 4 in the tournament as well. So a really, really good pick. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting battle against Germany. So Williams on one side, Yamal on the other, versus either Mittelstadt or Raum and Kimmich on the right-hand side. I think Yamal's going to cause problems for Kimmich, who obviously likes to join the midfield and the attack on a regular basis. Williams, 4 million, really, really impressive. Again, someone's got to trigger that release clause, haven't they, after the tournament? I'd love it to be Arsenal. So impressive. So same points and same price as Yamal, so take your pick. 15 points against Georgia. He had a really good solo goal, which was the Ruiz assist, but Williams done all the work, taking on the player and slotting that one home. And then he had a really good assist for Rodri as well. So really nice pass, like through multiple players for Rodri to have that shot from outside the box. So 1 goal, 1 assist for Williams, 2 shots on target and a big chance created. Yeah, I think this is going to be a real big battle. And I think I would rather favour one of the wingers over Ruiz at this point in the tournament. I just don't think that Germany can afford to commit their sort of fullbacks forward as much as they have been so far. Let me know your backing in this match, Germany-Spain. This is one of the ones that I'm most looking forward to watching. Obviously, after Portugal, France, we're going to come on to them next. But seeing their last 2 fixtures, not the best watches. But Spain, Germany have been sort of 2 of the better teams to watch so far this tournament. So let me know your backing out of Spain and Germany and what players you like in the look of. Right, on to Portugal. So an eventful 0-0 in this one that went to penalties. Portugal are the underdogs in the France fixture. They kept their second clean sheet of the tournament against Slovenia. But Portugal have actually now failed to score in their last 2 matches. Now, the third group game against Georgia, they did basically rotate the entire team apart from the keeper. And apart from Ronaldo, who they've been trying their hardest to get a goal, but it still hasn't happened. So failed to score in that one, failed to score in this one in normal time. They've got the second best non-penalty XG. So looking pretty good going forward, even though it hasn't sort of ended up in goals in the last 2 matches. But they do face France, who have got the best non-penalty XG conceded with 1.84 from 4 games. So not giving up much at all, France. Boring us to tears, but a really, really solid defence. So let's start with the Portugal defence. So I don't mind backing it. And I'll tell you why. So it is a really, really tough fixture. Obviously, France have got Mbappe. But France have only scored 3 goals in their 4 matches. 2 of them were own goals. And 1 of them come from the penalty spot. They've been really, really pragmatic. Comparable to England, to be honest with you. I started to think this. Are France viewing their performances as badly as what we're viewing the England performances? I'd be interested to know. But I can see a repeat of the Belgium fixture happening again in this one. So really, really cagey match. France really solid, not giving up much. And the Portugal defence has been pretty good as well. So I feel like I prefer the defence of Portugal and France compared to that match previously. I feel like there's just going to be more goals in that match previously. I might be wrong, but that's how I'm looking at it. But I feel like if you target the defenders from Portugal, or if you target defenders from any of the teams this side of the draw, you kind of don't want to rely on clean sheets because they're some really, really good attacking players. Goals can happen. So if you're not relying on clean sheets, I feel like you want to opt for the players that get bonus points or attacking returns or tackle points, all the extra points you can get that aren't from clean sheets, especially with extra time as well. So we did see Portugal go extra time and keep the clean sheet. But the longer the game goes on, we saw it in the England match, the goals can take place in extra time. So I feel like the longer games go on, the less chance there is at a clean sheet. So players like Cancelo and Mendes, who absolutely smashed it in this fixture. So 13 points for Cancelo, 12 points for Mendes, both hitting maximum bonus points. 4 tackles for Cancelo as well. I feel like these two could deliver for you, even if they do end up conceding. So Cancelo first, 4.5 million. Got 4 tackles for Slovenia plus the max bonus and the clean sheet. The only question again that I'm asking is similar to the Germany one. Will he be as advanced? Slovenia obviously sat right back. Will Cancelo be seeing as much of the ball as he did in this match? I think he could. I do see France giving up the possession and just staying compact. But Cancelo is going to be tasked with, if they keep the positions the same, Cancelo is going to be tasked with dealing with Mbappe, which do they commit him forward as much as they would usually do, or do they just play to his strengths and try to break down France? It's going to be a tough one. They're probably going to play Paulinho again, maybe get him to sweep up a little bit. So Cancelo could get a chance, but I also don't think it's out of the question that maybe Dalot comes in, which I know you won't want to hear. You got a yellow card, Cancelo, as well in this match. So he's going to be defending against Mbappe on a yellow, potentially missing the next match if they do win. Yeah, it's tough. 7.7 average, 10% ownership. And I don't think there'll be a rush to target Portugal. So I do feel like, obviously, if you've got them already, you probably keep them. But if you did want to go for something a bit different, I don't hate backing the Portugal clean sheet in this one. I think it could be a cagey affair with France. I know it feels crazy to pick out a team to target the defense when they're playing against Mbappe, but as a whole, I think France have been comparable going forward to England, where they're not creating the most chances. They're focusing on the defense, the clean sheet, staying compact, and then the odd goal is coming. So I don't mind the Cancelo pick. Maybe the 1 yellow card away though, leans me towards Mendes at 4 million. So I know I talked him down previously. I probably still would prefer Cancelo if he wasn't on a yellow card. But Mendes is now the second highest defender on the game, 8% ownership, so less than Cancelo, a bit more of a differential. Still got the bonus points comparable with Cancelo, which I wasn't expecting. 13 player performance marks. He does have the 2 assists, which I mentioned. I thought they were a little bit fluky. But yeah, I probably would opt for Mendes over Cancelo at this point. So he doesn't have the yellow card, which Cancelo has. I'll just double check that. I don't think he has the yellow card. Mendes. Yeah, doesn't have a yellow card, whereas Cancelo does. Yellow cards reset after the quarterfinal. So if you did want to bring him in for 1 week, he got suspended. It's not the end of the world. You can move him on. I had the same thing happen with Gahey this week. But overall, I think both are okay, just for the fact that it does go extra time, or even in normal time. Even if they can concede, I still think they could get bonus points, and they are going to be busy. Like Cancelo, 4 tackles against Slovenia. How many chances is he going to have for tackles against Mbappe? Attack from Portugal, I'm less keen. So Ronaldo, 6 million. He's had 4 shots on target in this Slovenia match. He had a penalty miss, and he ended up in tears after the penalty miss. It's not nice. It's not really nice to see. The pressure is getting to him, I think, and the team. And he's getting frustrated. He really wants this first goal. Obviously, you see that playing in that nothing friendly against, not friendly, but the 3rd round match against Georgia, and he still ended up playing. He's desperate for this goal. And I think this France defence is going to frustrate him. Really, really strong defence. Hernandez, Koundé either side with Saliba or Upamecano. If you're getting frustrated against Slovenia, Saliba is going to cause you problems. So I don't like it. I think I'm going to remove Ronaldo from my team now. He's not scored yet. He's got 1 assist. And he's just being greedy to the detriment of the team. So the free kicks, I felt like, were becoming an embarrassment at the end. So countless free kicks, probably summarized by that free kick that was in the left crossing position. And he still lined up with his free kick positioning. And I just looked at it and thought, you got a better chance of scoring letting Bruno Fernandes cross this ball into you than trying to welly this into the crowd. So I think these Ronaldo performances are now to the detriment of the team, and also to the detriment of Bruno Fernandes, who's also in my team, or I'm going to look to move out. So not hot on any of the Portugal attack anymore. I think I've seen enough from Ronaldo and his supporting band. Bruno Fernandes, 4 points, tackles, 1 bonus against Slovenia. Took 4 corners, but I think they mostly came after Vitinha went off in the 65th. He's not usually great for bonus points, so that's not a surprise. But he normally, for Man United, makes up of it with shots on target, tackles, and big chances created. And he was doing it in the qualifiers as well. But it's just not happening in this tournament. And I can only see it stemming from the over-reliance on Ronaldo. The game plan is get the ball to Ronaldo, try and get him to score. Whereas this team is more than good enough to score goals on their own. So I'd love to see Bruno Fernandes step up and take a bit more leadership like he does for United, but I just don't see it happening. If it's not happened 4 games in, I cannot see it changing at this point. So I'm not keen on Portugal attack, and I'll be looking to move on. Defense, I'd hold them if I had them. I'd only consider maybe swap into like a Holland, a France, an England. Maybe if you've got 2, you could maybe do with 1. But other than that, I think defense looks better than attack, which surprises me saying it. Quick shout out, Costa was absolutely brilliant in this match. Some really big saves towards the end, and obviously I think was it 3 penalty saves in a row. Really good performance from Costa in goal. And then Palhinha, 10 points, 3 bonus and 9 tackles, and I could see him repeating something like this against that French midfield, but I won't be going there. Right, France, their opponents. So favourites in the match for the next round. I expect them to get to the semi-final and then probably give Spain a tough game in there. I think they're giving England a run for their money as the worst side to watch this tournament. I think France and England have been the two that I've been most disappointed with watching all these matches. Really, really pragmatic, not pushing that hard to get the goal, it seems, or not quite clicking up front, but just managing to get it done anyway. 3 clean sheets, joint most clean sheets with Spain. And also, again, a little bit like how Spain performed well against Italy and Croatia. I back France just because, again, they kept a clean sheet against Belgium, who looked pretty threatening. They kept a clean sheet against Netherlands, who have looked good. And they've already kept a clean sheet against Austria, who impressed in the group stages as well. Only giving up 1.84 non-penalty XG conceded. So 4 matches, I think France have looked probably the best defence. So they're going to be one that we're going to look at. Griezmann came back in the team at right wing. So that was one of the main changes with the lineup over Dembele. Not actually seen Griezmann play right wing in quite a while. It seemed like didn't really have a great match there. Mbappe though pushed to the left hand side where we'd seen him play through the middle. He went out to the left, and Thuram came in as the centre forward for this one. But blank from Mbappe apart from the 3 bonus points. Thuram just the 2. Griezmann managed 1 bonus points. And just 3 points in general. He was replaced by Kolo Muani, who went on to get the goal or cause the own goal from the Vertonghen block. But overall, not the best performance going forward. So we'll look at the defence. Hernandez, 5 million, 35 points, puts him as the highest scoring defender in the game. And now that we've got an extra 3 million, spending up on these premiums don't seem like as bad idea. So 8 bonus points is the most of any defenders in the game, or that are left in the game. Sorry, we had Sotalo, who I think was on 9. He's had back-to-back 3 bonus points, and then he got 1 bonus in each of his first 2 matches. So whole way through, doing well for bonus. And here's another one: if you can't get the clean sheet, can you get the points elsewhere? He's doing well for tackles. He's got tackle points in this one. He's got bonus points in all the matches. 8.8 average, 1 shot on target, 1 big chance created, 6 tackles. So I think he falls into the same sort of category as Mendes, Cancelo, that they can get you points elsewhere if the clean sheet is lost. And I just wanted to say how good that late challenge was in the second half. I can't remember who it was on in the end, but chased all the way back after, I think it was a Saliba mistake, but made up so much ground, putting a massive tackle. And I just love seeing all the defense celebrating the tackle like that, like it was a goal. So that was brilliant to see, doing the dirty work as well as he's good attacking. Koundé, 4 million. I've had him already so far. And I think he looks all right. He's, for someone that's more defense minded, he is getting in really good attacking positions. And he was involved in the little triangle with Kante and Moani in the build up to the goal. 10 tackles in 4 matches, so he's decent for tackles, less attacking threat than Hernandez, but still does seem to get bonus or PPM, but just not at the same rate as Hernandez. So I would favour Hernandez, but if I was doing the double up, it would be Koundé. Mbappe is the only attacker that I'm really going to highlight. So 7.5 million, obviously disappointed with just 5 points in this one. He was the most highly capped player in Matchday 4. But didn't do the business, probably because I captained him. Whichever striker that I seem to go for doesn't do well. I don't think I've had 1 captaincy goal yet. Just 2 goals for my strikers, 1 captaincy goal still hasn't come my way. Maybe it'll be this week, but no shots on target. Did get 3 bonus points. So again, I think this is the way I'm going to have to try and play it. If I'm being this unlucky with picking goal scorers, I've just got to get extra points somewhere. And he is getting bonus. He is highly owned. So I can't see myself not having Mbappe if he's left in the tournament. If he's out wide, I think he's going to cause Cancelo problems, or whoever plays there. And if through the middle, I mean, he could start left and drift into the middle. But one thing I am thinking is that Pepe had a lot of mistakes in him against Slovenia. He's been brilliant this tournament. But towards the end, He's getting on a little bit. He was fatigued, and there was a few mistakes that he made towards the end that made me think if that was Mbappe, he'd be slotting them home. It was the Sesko. I think he made the mistake that led to the Sesko 1-on-1 that he just didn't finish at all. So I looked at that and thought if this Portugal defence is a little bit tired, they could get punished. 1 goal, 1 assist so far in the tournament. The 1 goal comes from the penalty spot. 6 shots on target, 53% ownership. Yeah, I think everyone's going to have him, to be honest with you. So no other interest in the attackers. They keep swapping it around. They play a lot of defence-minded midfielders. And they're never looking like scoring a lot of goals. So it probably would just be Mbappe for me in this one. Moving on to the right-hand side of the tournament or of the draw. But before we do, please do leave a like if you haven't already. And we're going to be podding live on the Dream Team Tonic podcast this evening to our Patreon community only. That'll be live on YouTube, 9 p.m. And you can still sign up to the Patreon now. There'll be a link in the description below, patreon.com/Dream Team Tonic. And then that'll be out a little bit later on for everyone else. But we've got a Discord community full of decent managers who are doing pretty well on this, much better than me, chatting on a daily basis about the Euros, what they're doing with their team. We've got loads of different tabs, so people putting team drafts in there, suggestions on drafts, getting the feedback. Really enjoyable Discord to be in. So if you're interested in becoming a member, getting early access to the pods, getting articles, getting it Discord entry, do click the link below for the Dream Team Tonic Patreon community, and check out the podcast. So Netherlands, huge favourites over Turkey. I never like anyone being this big favourites in knockout football, but they are on the bookies odds, and it was a very impressive 3-0 win against Romania, so not that surprised. Gakpo with the first, and Donnell Marlon coming off the bench for a brace, but there could have been even more goals in this one. So that was their second clean sheet of the tournament. They've got the third best attack for non-penalty XG, 6.38 from 4 matches. That just puts them in third behind Spain and Portugal. So decent functioning strikers or attack. I just can't help but compare anyone to what I've seen from England at the minute. Turkey, who they're playing against. So Netherlands got the third best attack, if you want to go on that. Turkey have the worst defence remaining in the tournament with a non-penalty XG conceded of 4.85 from 4 games. So letting up a goal a game or more at the minute. I think this could be more goals for the Netherlands if it goes to plan. So I think Netherlands, it's easy. It was fair to say they got the best fixture, and they're on the better side of the draw with the route to the final. So there definitely is going to be interest in attack and defence. Obviously, it helps with their attack being one of the best and Turkey's defence being one of the worst. If they do get through, they'll face either England or Switzerland, which I think looks better than facing the likes of a Spain, Portugal, France, Germany. So I think they'll be invested in this week. For the defence, Dumfries at right back, De Vrij centre back with Virgil van Dijk, and Ake at left back was how they lined up. Nice to see Dumfries back at right back because they've been fiddling around with that right hand side. But I think yesterday, was the best it has looked so far. And I think this is how they're going to surely line up now. It feels like they've settled. And you've obviously got Verbruggen, who might be going under the radar a little bit. He's been a decent keeper. Not the most clean sheets, but he has been getting save points. But I'm going to start off with De Vrij at 4.5. He's had no attacking points, which is surprising. So he's someone that we associate with getting attacking returns, but no attacking points in this match. Just come away with the clean sheet points and a yellow card. So maybe that is something want to keep an eye on. Just double check that Dumfries hasn't had 2 yellows. No, just the 1 yellow. So he's got to get through one more game without picking up a yellow card. I think he probably could do that. But don't be put off by the fact that he hasn't had any attacking sort of points in this match. And he's also yet to have a shot on target or a big chance created in the tournament, because he did look really good in this Romania match. So I think there was like 4 off the top of my head, like 3 or 4 different sort of chances where the attacks were starting with him getting down that right-hand side and putting crosses in or getting involved in the play on the right-hand side. He did look really good. And obviously Ake on the left back position can sort of fill in to make a back three at times. So Dumfries is going to get the most chances to get forward. And he has a history of getting attacking returns. So I wouldn't be put off the fact that he hasn't had a shot on target or a big chance created. He did look really, really promising in this match. Ake, 4 million. He's the only Dutch defender to get a bonus point in the game so far, which shocked me a lot when I was doing the research in this. Feels like most defenders do end up just getting the odd bonus point in the game, but let me just double check that. I was doing this research quite late and it feels so unbelievable that I'm going to have to check it again myself. But yeah, Ake, the only defender from the Netherlands to have 1 bonus point. Everyone else is on 0. So this is a bit different to Portugal and Hernandez, maybe, from France. If we do back the Netherlands defence, maybe you're backing the clean sheet primarily. Dumfries not getting any sort of attacking points so far and not many bonus points coming. So this could be a different example to the other side of the draw. Whereas with that lot, you're probably looking to get extra points and not so much clean sheets. This side, you probably are focusing on the clean sheets. But Ake does have 2 assists, 6.8 average and 27 points. So he has had attacking returns, which you probably wouldn't be surprised if it was Dumfries who had the 2 assists to his name. But I don't mind backing Netherlands defence for this one. I think it looks like a decent fixture. De Vrij and Virgil van Dijk are the other 2 that we can pick out. So Virgil van Dijk actually hasn't done very, very well so far this tournament. 17 points. Dumfries, De Vrij, and Ake Dumfries has the same points. De Vrij on 20 and Ake on 27. But we know what Virgil's got in the locker. He hit the post in this match with a header. We've seen him come up with many goals before for Liverpool. So I don't think you can rule him out as a decent option for getting attacking returns at the back, even if he hasn't got bonus points. But De Vrij did impress me a lot in this game. So 3 tackle points, but he only costs 3 million in the game. So he's a much cheaper alternative if you did just want to cover off the clean sheet. But I just thought that overall, he looked like a really, really good defender in this match. I think he had a decent chance himself, potentially from a header. So I don't mind any of these defenders, really. Dumfries probably would still be the priority one that I'd go for just because he does get forward the most. But Ake, Virgil van Dijk, still decent chance of them getting an attack and return. Gakpo, 4.5 million. Yeah, I must say I was getting annoyed watching this match, watching how well he was doing after seeing what a bad mistake I made by going for Morata in his place. So Gakpo, 4.5 million, 48 points, the highest scoring player in the game, 9 points ahead of Musiala in second. He's now a joint top goal scorer with 3 goals. He got 1 assist as well and 5 bonus points. He's had 7 shots on target, 4 big chances created, puts him joint top. And he got 16 points against Romania. And I've seen some massive, massive scores with people that had him captain, people that had him obviously captain through max captain, and then people that had him with captaincy and goal bonus. So well done if you went for him. Not so well done if you went for Morata like me. It seems like a stupid decision in hindsight, but I really did fancy. I looked at this game and thought Romania have been pretty resolute at the back and they could keep it tight. But after that goal went in so early, it sort of opened right up. Whereas I looked at the Spain game and thought, I can see goals. And there were 4 of them. It just didn't come to Morata. So Gakpo was the clear winner for this one. And I think a lot of people are going to be going for him. He's really highly owned already now. 42.2% selected. And after this one, I imagine he's going to clear 50%, potentially even becoming the most highly owned player in the game, overtaking Musiala with 65%. It wouldn't surprise me if people start looking towards the right-hand side of the draw now with that Turkey match. So again, it's a choice between damage limitation, going for Gakpo, or going against him, but you're going to be going against the crowd. And the way he was looking in that Romania game and then having Turkey, I don't feel like I want to go against Gakpo. As much as I want a differential, I don't want to go with the crowd. It's going to be scary going against him, I think. 1 goal, 1 assist in this match. 1 disallowed goal, which I've never celebrated a disallowed goal so hard. But it just looks so on it. So getting the ball, picking it up on the left-hand side, cutting in and shooting from range for that goal. And every time he picks up the ball, he looks like he wants to either score, or there was the chance where he sort of drove forward through the center of the pitch and he had 3 or 4 players to look for, but he's just head down looking for goal, took a long-range shot. Selfish, but it's kind of what you want to see, unless it's Ronaldo taking free kicks from 40 yards. But yeah, Gakpo, big endorsement. Xavi Simons would be the differential looking midfielder that I'd go for if I was looking for an extra attacker. 4 million. Bit of, I don't know, mystery in the first few games. He was played out on the right, then he was dropped, then he was subbed on early, then played through the middle. But he seemed to thrive in the number 10 position in this match, opposed to on the right wing. That right wing, they just keep changing it, and we'll come on to that. But he got 2 assists in this match. He's got 3 assists overall. 2 shots on target, 7 tackles in the tournament, and I expect him to keep his place after this performance. Looked much more steady, Netherlands, with him at 10, and then was it Reinders and Schouten behind. So I think they've got to stick with this formation. They've messed around with it a lot. The only change that probably would happen is that Bergwijn started at right wing, which we've had Simon start at right wing, we've had Frimpong start at right wing, we've had Marlon, and now Bergwijn. So they just can't make his mind up on that right-hand side. But Marlon getting 2 goals off the bench, and I'm assuming Bergwijn was injured coming off at half-time. Surely it's got to be Marlon right wing, Simons in the 10, I think. Marlon did get the brace coming on at half-time, but he got 15 points. But the way he's messed around with this right wing position, I still wouldn't trust going for Marlon. So it'd be Simons or Gakpo for me. Depay, 3.5 million. He's involved, and it looks like he's either trying to be the main man or should be the main man, but he's just getting overshadowed by Gakpo's class at the minute. He got 18 points overall. Took 12 corners in this match, which normally is a sign of you're going to get max bonus, but no bonus points for Depay. And that's probably because only 4 of his 14 crosses were actually accurate for this match. So for me, Depay would be an avoid. I think he looks like that sort of trap player that I normally go for, that looks attacking but doesn't get any points unless he's getting an attack in return. So I'd pass on him. Turkey, with all due respect, great result, great shock upset. Demiral, 19 points, brace, 1 ppm from max bonus, but I can't back them when it comes to Dream Team players. Obviously, they got great support at the tournament. Could produce another upset, but I just don't want to back teams that aren't the favourites or are heavily favourites to lose. So if I did go there, Gula maybe 2.5 million, 26 points, 1 goal, 1 assist. But with the extra 3 million, I don't think we need to be looking for an enabler at this point. He's putting really good crosses in, Gula, but Çalhanoğlu was suspended, comes back, and I imagine he takes the corner set pieces anyway. So well played, but not for me. England 2-1. I've got a little bit to do on England. I might have to speed up a little bit though, because we've been going a while. It was a horrendous performance. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Like, awful to watch. Really awful to watch. The ref was really card happy to start off with, so bookings for every foul. Trippier absolutely killed Gay with that back pass, and got him suspended for the next game. So cheers for that one. And then he got injured himself, so he's probably going to miss the next game as well. So Gay, he's a player that I'm going to have to take out. He did get that assist, so got 4 points for the flick on, which led to the really good Bellingham goal. equaliser at the end that took it to extra time. The defence did look a little bit shaky though, so I think Walker was poor positioning for the goal, and Stones Gahey they've been brilliant, by the way, but they did have a bit of a miscommunication, I think, for the header that sort of led to the goal. Crying out for substitutions at half time. I know, chatting with the guys in the Discord, we've got match chat. Everyone was saying we need changes. And you expect sometimes the pundits to be a bit more level-headed than normal fans like us. But it went to the pundits at halftime and they were all losing their heads as well. Why are we not making changes? We have to be making changes. And then as soon as it showed that we were going to bring out the same team, even the commentary and the pundits were sort of losing their heads. I don't know why we're not making changes. First sub didn't come till the 66th minute, and that was forced really with the Trippier injury. Saka went to left back, Palmer came on at right wing. Saka 5 points, 10 ppm, free bonus, but not confident in really picking Saka now in case he ends up at left back. Eze and Palmer came on, both look positive, I think, look good. And then Bellingham, so 11 points, 6 player performance marks, 1 bonus. I think that's bonus in every match now. Did pick up an early booking, which now he's 1 away from suspension. But that bicycle kick, like as annoyed as I was throughout the game, what a clutch goal from Bellingham. Really, really good with that assist from Gahey as well. So took us through to extra time, and that was the first shot on target that England had in the entire match. Bellingham and Kane were 2 that I didn't really want to leave out my team, and obviously I opted for Morata, but I must say I felt hard done by. Like, I've backed a team that I thought were going to do well attacking wise, and England I didn't think would, and they didn't. England didn't do well attacking wise, but both of the key players popped up with goals, whereas I've backed the Spain team who scored 4 and missed out. Kane again, relatively quiet, couple chances off target from crosses into the box. That seemed to be our biggest threat from the set pieces. But 1 minute into extra time, there was that miss-hit shot, I think, from Eze. Flicked on by Tony, who apparently had the ump when he got told to come on for 1 minute, which, again, is not really surprising. I think everyone, when they made that change, thought, what's the point? Why are you making a change now? But I think Southgate's going to see that as a win, isn't he? He got it right. And then Kane headed goal. 1 shot on target in the match to win the game. So what can you say? The game was won, but you don't come away from it feeling entirely confident. So Konsa tipped to replace Trippier in that match was doubt, but Trippier did end up playing, but I can't imagine he's going to play now. And then Gahey obviously suspended, so maybe Saka left back is a possibility. Surely we're not going to see Luke Shaw, and then we could see Palmer coming at right wing. Let me know what you think changes wise we're going to see from England. Maybe a 5 at the back with wing backs. Wouldn't mind seeing Saka left wing back, Trent right wing back, put Walker in at the sort of right centre back, and have Stones and Konsa maybe. Adding a bit more width to the team potentially. Right, England. So statistically worst attack in defence. Worst attack in the tournament. It's ridiculous, isn't it, with the players we've got? So statistically the worst attack left in the tournament with a non-penalty XG of 3.71 from 4 matches, so less than a goal a game. 4 goals from 4 matches for total goals, 13 shots on target. So you compare the 13 shots on target for England to Spain. Spain have had 30. Germany have had 27 and Portugal have had 21. So England just the 13 shots on target. I think Bellingham and Kane have to be the best attackers to pick, despite not being entirely convincing, but both have 2 goals each now. Bellingham 11 points the last game, 4 tackles, 1 bonus. Didn't think he had the best game, but we've seen it for Real Madrid. He comes up clutch, and you can't deny he's come up with the goods in this match. So fair play. 6th highest player in the game as well, 33 points, 8 bonus and 8.3 average. So maybe I was wrong to not include him, but you wouldn't be surprised if England don't create much again in this next match. Kane 7.5, quiet again, but 9 points, coming up with a goal. That's his 2nd of the tournament now. When you compare that to Ronaldo, who hasn't scored. Lukaku didn't score. Mbappe's only had the one from the penalty spot, so maybe Kane's doing all right, really. So I think I regret not having one of these in my team. So 49% ownership for Bellingham, 43% for Kane, and it hurt my massively not owning either. So I think you're going to want one of the two. Foden, 14%, Saka, 7.1% would be the differentials to deliver, but the risk of Saka playing left back or left wing back is enough to avoid for me. If there are reports that Palmer could start at right wing and Saka is going to start at left back, then maybe you could consider Palmer at 4.5. He's got no points to show for it at the minute, but he has looked good when he has come on. So yeah, I feel like Saka would be an avoid because of that left back risk. But if you do hear that Palmer could start or that Saka is going to start a left back, could be a differential to be had. Defense, I still think it's fine to target, but I've got a few issues on knowing who to target now. So best defense pre-Slovenia, but we dropped off obviously massively during that game. So 3.3 non-penalty XG conceded in 4 games, 2 clean sheets kept. But now it's a tough decision with what to do with the lineup. Gahey suspended, Trippier injury. Do we see the back 5 or do we just see, I don't know, Gomez and Konsa, for example, or Saka at left back and Konsa centre back with a back 4? For that reason, I just think Stones and Walker probably the safest picks, but again, don't really love them. Trippier and Gahey are the only England defenders with more than 1 bonus point, and they're not available. So the only other option I'd look at the back would be if we did get early news that Trent would be back in the team and hinting towards maybe we were going for a 5 at the back potentially. But yeah, it's a good fixture. You want to be involved in this England-Switzerland fixture, but you can't deny that these 4 matches we've seen from England aren't the most promising. And then Switzerland. So Vidma came in for Ndoye at right wing back. The Vargas came back in at left wing. Made quite a few good chances and made some big saves from Donnarumma. Vargas, 14 points, got a first half assist, and then a really nice goal from the edge of the box. Abisha, 7 points. He assisted a goal and he's on 1 goal, 2 assists now. Did a really good job playing left wing back and then sort of joining in the sort of midfield. That was Switzerland's first clean sheet though, so wouldn't be that keen on backing the defence. And Xhaka is possibly a doubt for the England match now. I can't see him missing the quarterfinal, but they said something like he's had an adductor issue. So Xhaka will be a big miss if he is out. But I'd avoid. I know England aren't at their best, and Switzerland are, I'd say, a lesser team, but looks so much more well coached as a team. But I just can't back them. And I think you'd agree. So let me know if you're backing any Switzerland players. Quick recap of my team. So shocking game week. So 61 points saw me drop from 6.2k down to 34k. Gakpo was obviously the big one, but there was a lot of goals this week, and I saw a lot of people playing goal bonus. Also, there was a lot of double figure returns, and if you did have max captain, you were getting a really good captaincy haul as well. So brutal swing there on the Gakpo Morata. And again, I fancied the England-Spain double up in defence, but both of them conceded just the 1 goal. Germany, France, Portugal, Netherlands, all keeping clean sheets. So poor choice of defence, but I feel like my reasoning was fine for choosing the defence. I can't say the same with the Morata. I feel like with the Morata pick, I'm willing to sort of hold my hands up and say I think I made a mistake with that pick. But with the defence, I still just feel like it was unlucky. No goals from the strikers again, though. 1 goal in Matchday 2 from Kane, and a 12th man Mbappe goal is all I've had from strikers. I've had Lukaku for his blanks. I've had Ronaldo for his blanks. I've had Kane for 2 blanks, I think. Just hasn't happened for me up top. And obviously Morata added to the list. And I've not had a captaincy scorer yet either. When I had Mbappe score, he was my 12th man. When I had Kane score, who did I have? I think it might have been Lukaku. Oh no, it's Max captain that week. It was Gundogan ended up with it. 15 points from Ruiz was my highlight of the week, probably. But even that one, it was a case of your best player doing really well for points, but you're losing rank because most people have got him and they were either playing goal bonus. So anyone that had him would have got 4 points extra. And then anyone that had max captain was obviously getting double points at this point. So picking up 30 from Ruiz. So it's a frustrating one to look at your team and think, oh, yeah, I'm doing well here. And then you're losing points. It's a strange one. So, yeah, really poor week. And it's been a poor showing from me so far in the tournament, all the way back down to 34k. Initial thoughts. We've got a few days till the deadline. I'll give you my initial thoughts on who I'm thinking of taking out. Gahey is obviously suspended, so this one is forced. Sabitzer is eliminated, so this one is forced. Pickford, I'm happy to keep him for the Switzerland game. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And like I said, Cucurella, Carvajal, I don't think are a big issue for the Germany fixture. I know it's a tough fixture, but I'm more concerned that I've got 4 Spain up against Germany. So Carvajal, Cucurella, Ruiz, Morata. Obviously, if they go out, I'd lose 4 players in one hit. So I kind of want to de-risk that a little bit. And I think Carvajal, Cucurella, Ruiz are better picks at this point than Morata. So Morata is probably going to be the obvious remove, the third player out. Gahey, Sabitzer, Morata. Musiala, despite playing against my Spain defenders, he's been that good this tournament. I'm happy to keep him. And if Germany get eliminated, I'm on 1 German player, so it's not the end of the world. So he stays. But if you didn't tell, I'm not happy with Ronaldo and Bruno so far. I don't blame Bruno. I do blame Ronaldo. So I think both of them are a consideration to remove. Gahey, Sabitzer, Ronaldo, Bruno, and Morata, it looks like could be my 5 out. Got a bit of time, so I'm going to think about who to bring in. But sort of first sort of impressions, maybe do I want to get a Dutch defender in there? Maybe go for sort of 2 Dutch defenders, but that would include going back to a back 4. I'm liking the idea though of getting sort of one of these attackers that can get bonus. So that would be sort of a Hernandez or maybe a Portuguese Cancelo or Mendes. But then strikers, I can't look anywhere else other than Gakpo, and I know everyone's going to go for him. But I am going to want to start to move to the right-hand side of the draw now. The only players I've got on the right side currently were Pickford, Gahey, Sabitzer. Obviously, I'm losing Sabitzer, I'm losing Gahey, so I need more on the right-hand side, and the right-hand side is looking good. And the real standout strikers now on the right-hand side is going to be Kane or Gakpo, who are both highly owned. So I don't rule out bringing in both of them. I'm going to want one of Bellingham or Kane. So yeah, it's kind of looking at back France to do well for the clean sheet. So Hernandez is definitely on my thinking. Maybe some Dutch defence. And like I just said previously, I'm struggling to decide who I would want from the England defence until we sort of get some sort of indication what the lineup could be. So I'm going to leave it at that. We've got a few days till the deadline. I'm going to be going live with the guys at the Tonic this evening. So do tune into that if you're a Patreon member or if you want to become one. There'll be a link in the description below. Might come back with a bit more of my thinking, and I'm getting this one out straight after the end of the round of 16. So I might come back to you when I've had a bit more time to think about what changes I'd make. But that's definitely who I'm going to take out, I think, but I'm still having a bit of consideration about who I want to bring in for this game week. So if you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.